Top 5 cheapest states to build a tiny home. Right now, what if I told you that you could own a home? Tiny, cozy, perfect, for less than many people spend on a mid-range car. Imagine sliding open the door to your own place where every nook is yours, every wall tells a story, and your mortgage doesn't feel like a life sentence. In this video, we're exploring the top 5 cheapest states to build a tiny home. Right now, not dreaming about future deals, but today, what states are giving you serious value? We will examine what makes each state cheap, what hidden pitfalls there are, and how you can stretch every dollar without turning tiny into frustrating. Stay tuned. I promise you'll be surprised just how affordable home ownership can be when you choose carefully. Oklahoma. Oklahoma offers some of the most accessible entry points into home sovereignty. Picture wide-open spaces under big sky, affordable acreage in rural counties, and contractors who are used to working with modest designs. Because land is plentiful and demand in many areas remains lower than in booming regions, prices per acre in many counties are significantly cheaper than national averages. Labor costs tend to be lower too. Carpenters, electricians, roofers, because many of them operate locally and don't have the overhead of big city wages. But cheap land doesn't always come with infrastructure. Many parcels may lack paved road access, electricity, water, or sewer hookups. During dry seasons or droughts, water could be scarce or require drilling a well. Power may have to run from miles away or depend on solar. So, practical advice. Before purchasing land, visit it in all-weather conditions. Talk to local building and zoning offices to confirm what kind of tiny home is allowed. Check road access, especially after rains. Plan for off-grid or utility infrastructure nearby. Invest in strong structural design to withstand storms. And always over budget for delivery and site prep. If you do this, Oklahoma can give you perhaps the biggest return on your tiny home dollar in the U.S. Mississippi. Mississippi is another strong contender, especially if you're comfortable with warm, humid climate and want lower baseline costs. Land in many rural counties remains very inexpensive. Often, properties are much cheaper per acre than in neighboring states or in urban proximate zones. Local builders generally charge less. Materials are often sourced regionally, lowering transport costs. Because labor costs are lower, you might be able to get more done for less money. To build smart in Mississippi, select a lot that is not in a floodplain. If you are close to coast, choose higher elevation or raised foundations. Use moisture-resistant materials. Invest in a roof and overhangs that protect walls and windows. Ensure insulation is suitable for warm, humid climate. Check local renewable or off-grid options if grid power is unreliable. And contract with builders familiar with Mississippi weather. With the right protections, a tiny home here can be both affordable and durable. Arkansas. Arkansas gives a beautiful mix of affordability and natural beauty. Rolling hills, forests, rivers, and plenty of land in rural counties for low price per acre. If you love trees, seclusion, nature walks, perhaps fishing or river access, Arkansas can offer those things without the huge price tag of mountain or coastal states. Local labor is often willing to work with tiny home builders or even hobbyist builders, and there tend to be more contractors small enough to be flexible about custom small-scale designs. But Arkansas has its share of hidden costs. Roads to rural lots can be gravel or unpaved, becoming slick or washed out after storms. Delivering materials onto a steep hillside or remote forested land can require extra equipment or site prep. Utilities, water, septic, electricity may be far away or inconsistent. So the advice: when picking land in Arkansas, aim for parcels with good road access, moderate slope, not too steep, and proximity to supplies. Budget for driveway work, clearing, drainage. Use durable, weather-resistant materials, raised foundation or crawl space if water risk exists. Partner with local builders who know the terrain. Always inspect soil stability and slope, check flood maps, evaluate utility proximity. With patience and smart decisions, Arkansas offers a scenic, affordable path to a tiny home. Kansas. Kansas brings open skies, affordable wide expanses, and relatively straightforward land topography. which often lowers site prep and foundation complexity. Many rural areas have low population densities, which means lower land prices and fewer restrictions in terms of what kinds of homes can be built. The seasonal agricultural economy in many districts means labor may be more available off-peak at lower rates, and local building supply chains often service rural demands, so prices for basic materials wood, roofing, siding, in some counties are more favorable. Yet the weather in Kansas can punch you. Strong winds, tornadic risk in parts, wide swings in temperature, very cold winters and hot summers. These conditions demand that your tiny home design be resilient. Strong anchoring, proper wind bracing, insulation that handles both heat and cold, roof designs that shed snow or resist uplift. To optimize your build in Kansas, choose flat or gently sloping land with good road access. Pick a design with aerodynamic, wind-resistant profiles. Invest in insulation, efficient HVAC, source materials locally when possible. Plan for utility extensions or alternative systems if needed. Build in seasons with milder weather to avoid delay. And size your home to balance comfort and efficiency. If you do that, Kansas can give you a tiny home that feels much larger in value than its square footage. North Dakota. North Dakota is perhaps the boldest of these states to choose, but for serious frugality and long-term return, it can be one of the best. In many rural counties, land is often among the cheapest in the nation, labor costs, especially outside major towns, are low, and regulatory hurdles for small dwellings may be minimal in areas without heavy development pressure. Also, with great winter scenery, clarity of skies, and openness, there's aesthetic value. Doing tiny home life here can be quiet, serene, and exceptionally private. However, the climate is harsh, and that's not a detail you can gloss over. Winters bring extreme cold, heavy snow, risk of frost heave in foundations, very short daylight hours in the deep winter. That means heating systems must be excellent. Windows must be high performance. Insulation must be generous in walls, roof, and floor. Roofing must carry heavy snow loads. And foundations must be deep or well protected from freeze. To mitigate those risks, use high R-value insulation, insulated foundations or crawl spaces, install triple pane or highly rated windows, design a compact thermal envelope, use heating systems suited for cold climates, ensure roof structure is over-engineered for snow, plan construction during more temperate months, verify site is accessible year-round, purchase materials ahead of cold season, and ensure you have contingency funds for weather delays. If done carefully, a tiny home in North Dakota can be both cost-effective and resilient. Cheap to build now, but also built to endure. If you enjoyed this deep dive, like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss upcoming videos. Next time, we're exploring how to design a tiny home that retains value, or how to build off-grid for almost zero bills. In the comments, tell me, which of these states surprised you most? And where would you build your tiny home if cost wasn't a concern? Thanks for watching. See you soon.